Hi, in this video I'll be showing you how to chain stitch, which is the foundation of any crochet project. I'll be using a 10mm bamboo hook and my super chunky yarn in Sunflower. So let's get started. To begin your chain stitch, you first of all need to create a slip knot. To do this, there are many different ways, but I'm just going to show you one of the ways I use. So take your strand of yarn and using your two fingers like this, wrap the yarn around once and place your thumb over the cross, then remove your fingers so you have a loop like this. Then taking the tail end, cross it behind the back so you should have a loop with a yarn across behind. Then grab your crochet hook and hook that little strand through the loop, let go of everything else, pinch the two ends together and just pull your hook. So you have a slip knot there. You want it a little bit tighter though, so to tighten just pull the short end until it gets a bit more snug. So that is your slip knot. Now the next thing to learn when crocheting is how to hold your yarn and your hook. So I take my pinky finger and I wrap it around the yarn like that. Then I use my index finger to hold tension, my middle finger and my thumb to pinch the yarn that I'm working with. So I'll do that one more time. So you take your pinky finger and you wrap it around the yarn like this. If you want, you can place your second finger closer to your pinky finger to hold some additional tension. Then use your index finger to create some tension here, and your middle finger and your thumb to hold the yarn you're working with. Now with your hook, there are many different ways to hold the hook. You can see there's an indent here. Most hooks have that depending on what type of hook you use. There's lots of different ways to hold your hook. It just depends how you find it comfortable. And with practice, you'll get to grips with how you want to hold your hook. You do also want to use the full width of your hook, so this will help to maintain an even size to your chains rather than having it right down here because your chains might be a little bit tight. So let's get started. So once you've got your hook and your yarn held properly, we want to do what we call a yarn over. So this is when you wrap your yarn over your hook like so. Do that one more time. So you want to rotate your hook anti-clockwise, which creates the yarn over. Then we're going to pull this yarn through our slip knot like this, and that creates a second loop. Then we're going to continue to repeat that. So yarn over, pull that through the last loop, yarn over again, pull that through the last loop, yarn over again, pull that through the last loop. Then you want to continue doing that, adjusting where you're pinching your yarn every few stitches until you have a chain that's long enough for your project. Okay, so it's important to note that the stitch that is on your crochet hook does not count as one of your chain stitches. So say your pattern called for 10 chain stitches, you'd want to make sure you'd chained 10 stitches, then you had an additional stitch on your hook. So the stitch that's on your hook doesn't count because this is just a working stitch and it shouldn't be included in any stitch count for your projects. Depending on the pattern you're following, it may call for a certain number of turning chains. So turning chains are the chains that are added on. So let's say we had a pattern that needed 10 stitches plus 3 turning chains. That is to allow for the height of the stitch that you'll be working back along that chain. So you may be required to add a 1 turning chain, 2 turning chains, etc. Now this will depend on which crochet stitch you're working with. Let's count our chains. So we don't include this one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 chains. So that is how you chain stitch, and I hope to see you in the next video.